fuck the intro. Let's get into it. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to get into some of these critiques about the Lanterns teaser that I've seen. James Gunn put this out yesterday, and some people have some very, very staunch opinions and interesting things to say. So I kind of want to get into this and get this party started. We're going to start with the Briganator. He kind of comes off as a steamed light skinned carrot, but I don't know. Let's see if we can pack this vegetable back up into the grocery bag where he belongs.
What in the hell was this? We just got our first look at the Lanterns trailer and you're telling me that we gave up the Snyderverse for this? Wow! Wow! Like, bro, this is what James Gunn is giving us right now. He's giving us absolute trash. Why is Hal Jordan flying without green energy? There's no attention to detail at all.
That's funny. As look at the giant O face there. Holy shit. That's very interesting and hilarious, and I'm sure that you know where I'm gonna go with this when I find the tweet itself, but it is what it is. As you can see, Lantern Corps all flying around. Not all of them. No green energy. I'm not seeing that in that panel. Let's go up a bit more. People have found more for you to see. No, that's the cartoon, of course. So it seems like there's certain renditions that do flying around with the green energy, especially in space, where it stands out a lot more. And then there's other criteria, like the comic books in the early 2000s, where you see flight without green energy. Okay. Al Rayner. You see flight, no green energy. You see Green Lantern here in the comics, flying around, no green energy. Yep, because Silver Age Green Lantern doesn't exist. The green glow was originally only for when they were in space to make them stand out. Everyone here is just using the Jeff Johns example, and clearly James Gunn takes a lot of inspiration for this universe from older comics, which is true. I mean, we all glaze the idea of taking from a comic book and adapting that to the big screen. Therefore, if Green Lantern can fly without energy in the comics, there's no problem here. We see it in Superman 2025, where Guy Gardner is also flying with no energy, but he can make the green constructs. And this is probably no different here. Uh, it's just another comic panel where he's flying around, no green energy at all. So that's one I think we can toss to the side and burn asunder. What else you got?
And bro, look at this trash ass suit right here. Are you telling me that someone on Twitter is able to make something like this in a second? Look at this. This is made by people in a studio with millions and trillions of dollars. But people on the internet make this with ease.
Now, oh my god, here we go. Okay. This is cool. I like this edit a lot. They definitely did replicate and made me reminisce again yet about the Green Lantern suits and why they're green and why this brown color may be weird, possibly off-putting, but I'm gonna give an example and maybe this could explain why this suit is rusty and decayed and decrepit. Mr. Hal Jordan himself in this show is 60 years old. Now, Superman established a long time ago that for, I think, the past 3 decades, metahumans have been around kicking ass and taking names. You could kind of put 2 and 2 together with what I'm saying here is where Hal Jordan probably has been fighting a long time, where this suit itself is so worn that that's the reason why it's brown. Or it could be a glow in the dark situation where he puts this suit on and you're going to see at the end of the show, it illuminates. And therefore, oh, look, green suit. There's your fan service. It's something that comic book media does all the time. Marvel does it where a person gets their grand interest, they get their suit, and they show it off and they flaunt it off at the last moment. Whether it feels earned or unearned, I guess that remains to be seen. And then there's more suits in his closet. There's one suit that's like all packed up and kind of ready to go with new variants, new spacesuits. Maybe that could come into the show, and he gives Jon Stewart his suit, which is brand new, and then he has his own version of the suit, just sort of tailor made for him and polished up. Again, we have to see this stuff come into fruition. But if Green Lantern is wearing a brown suit without any of this being explained whatsoever, then I can see that being a valid critique as to why this shit is brown and not green, okay? Despite what I said, but if what I said happens, then I believe you personally, and don't take this pun the wrong way, oh my god, James Gunn, but I think you jumped the gun if it is explained. And that's a no-brainer, because some of you people like to jump the gun because something is different, and it's not really bad, just different to be explained later. And that's the problem with teasers. It's not the full show. It's not August yet. Hold your horses before then. Let's see, within those episodes, will we see a green suit at the end? And then, if we see Brown Lantern, I will agree with you. But if there's a reason for this, then I probably will end up not agreeing. And it means that this rage bait has been pointless.
But people on the internet make this with ease. We all thought that Ryan...
We're not going to co-sign and stand for Green Lantern by Ryan Reynolds, a movie he hates, which he's said many times before. I mean, he looks... If you look at just the mask and not the lower part down, that looks fine, even though the mask looks like kind of CGI. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I take that one back. Maybe I retract that one, okay? A better cowl would have probably fit him a lot more, but he had the look, the face, the physique of Hal Jordan, being a bit on the younger side. But we're not co-signing this fucking skin tight piece of shit. I don't care what people say. Nobody liked this when it came out. Nobody enjoyed it when they first saw it. We always called this suit the worst example of a Green Lantern suit in live action, and I don't think any sort of revisionist history is going to change that, my friends. I don't think so. I think this suit is still terrible. Even if it's color accurate, it's garbage, alright? And we're just seeing a portion of this suit in the closet. We're only seeing a small portion. Fuck all the AI shit for a minute, like of people doing full scale renditions of the guy who plays Green Lantern in the show, Hal Jordan, in the suit. Just only a small piece of it. We need to see the full thing in action first before trying to say that I will never co-sign this, even if it's fucking. I will never co-sign this suit, dude. It's awful. Skin tight CGI fake garbage. Like, you can say the Snyder ones look better, which I personally agree with, but not the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. Let that movie burn. There's a reason why Deadpool went back in time and shot him in the head before all this stuff was made. Just stop. We are not reclaiming this trash. We're not doing it.
We all thought that Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie was absolute garbage.
Yes, we did. But don't do it. Don't say the suit
but
is...
But right now, James Gunn is making Ryan Reynolds and that Green Lantern movie look like gold.
No. I would rather watch Superman 2025 6 million times until my eyeballs bleed and fall out than to ever watch Green Lantern 2011 again. No. You could not pay me to watch that movie again. It is... When people even say that they liked it, I'm like, what are we talking about? We are trying to fundamentally co-sign trash. Like, fuck no. Never.
Zack Snyder gave us a Green Lantern out of his garage.
Yeah, and a studio had to go in and make the special effects and put it in post-processing and put that all up for later. Just because it took place in his garage does not mean that they didn't put special effects on it for later. And you can clearly see this is a CGI suit. This is not a real suit. You can tell the actor still has CGI all over him. Zach is pretty good with CGI. I will give him that. I will give him his due diligence, his flowers there. I'll give him his fucking cookies, okay? But it's still something that went back and got made through the WB processing mill with special effects. So he made it in his garage for it to be edited later by corporate. What a riveting point.
This man gave us a masterpiece from his fucking garage with less money than a studio has. Look at the Green Lantern that Zack Snyder was going to give us. Look at the color, vibrant. This is what a Green.
It's cool. I will not shit on this suit. I forget the actor's name. Oh well. Either way, I like the suit. I do. It's cool. It's cool.
Lantern is supposed to be. James Gunn doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And bro, this is from the CW. This is from Stargirl. Stargirl versus Green Lantern. Look at how vibrant the colors are.
She's not even wearing the suit. She's not even. This is like just a jacket, bro. Like he sees colors as like, yeah, this is a costume. I don't know. I like the colors. I like all this other stuff, but I do think he's over exaggerating a bit. We still have to see this stuff in action from James Gunn's side, and you just saw a portion of a possibly faded outfit in a closet. I don't even think that's a fair comparison at all. Like with these, you can see the full colors and the full powers and all that stuff on display. Whereas I would argue in the Lantern's teaser, you don't barely see any of the powers on display. You got one flash of Hal using the ring, and that's it. Cut to logo, and then we move to exposition. So we got to see a lot more than what the teaser is providing.
Vibrant the colors are. They understand Green Lantern more than supposedly the comic book accurate James Gunn does. This is.
He got the text wrong. The comic book accurate? The comic book actor? What's with the fucking text, my guy? Like, you need to run that shit back through Sony Vegas or something, or whatever the fuck it is you're using, because actor and accurate is not the same word.
Supposedly the comic book accurate James Gunn does. This isn't a superhero show. This is like Yellowstone, a fucking cowboy show. Like,
that's what it always was meant to be. They said that Lanterns was always meant to be a true detective on Earth, space cops coming from space, being on Earth, and being buddy cops towards each other. You got the older Hal Jordan, you know, talking shit to the more younger and experienced, the runt of the litter, the grunt, you know, Jon Stewart. And I think that buddy cop is one of my personal favorite genres. Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour. Can you count Die Hard with a Vengeance, because there was John McClane and Zeus together? I guess you can kind of say that's kind of buddy cop ish, with those two working off each other, where they kind of like hate each other a little bit. That stuff I like. I love the buddy cop genre so much that if they get this right, if they nail the exposition, then sometimes greatness can come from small beginnings. I know the coolest thing about Green Lantern is being in space and seeing the fantastical elements of the core. I have no issue with people making those observations and saying that's what makes Green Lantern cool and unique, and it could bring some vibes into like seeing all the other Lantern cores with the rings and showing them. And I think that's always been a very interesting staple, but I don't mind them doing something original and kind of different from the formula, leading to the bigger portion of the formula, which is that space opera fantasy that you'll get with the Green Lantern Corps probably down the line in a movie, preferably with a bigger budget, because I don't want it to be a TV show with lesser budget. I would rather take the movie. I would rather take the multi-million-dollar movie making a Green Lantern movie itself than it to have a Lanterns budget. So they're clearly working with what they got. I guess we'll see how it pans out. Just because a suit is not favorable currently doesn't make the show immediate garbage. That's where people are kind of jumping the gun a bit. You can make. People are also saying that, oh, it's too much cursing as well. Oh, why do they say fuck a handful of times? I don't get it. Fuck, fuck. Why do they say fuck? James Gunn said it himself that each vibe for movies, characters, themes, they're all going to be different. Superman 2025 is probably going to be different from how Supergirl is, where, he cares about people and she's a little bit more of a rebel. And we're seeing that. We saw that with the trailers, right? And transitioning to other characters like Batman, which he has to be different, more of a vigilante, going around beating people. And Damian Wayne, I don't know if they're gonna go with the fierce fucking League of Shadows killer Damian Wayne before Bruce tames him. I don't know if that's gonna be an origin story or introduced in there, but clearly they can go multiple ways with that, and you see the Bat Family coming to fruition. And you got Clayface coming out, which is going to be about a fucking murder. Just going around fucking, and having body horror and shit. In that whole equation, the point I'm saying is that everything can be different to keep it varied as long as it's good. And this being a detective style show that's a little bit more grounded, give me that. If they curse, fuck it. They're on HBO, dude. We had The Last of Us on HBO where someone got their head torn off by a bloater. We have fucking shows on HBO Max where it's like Game of Thrones where people just fuck and red weddings and all of that stuff occurs with the most brutal and upfront fashion you will probably ever see. So I know this TV show being on HBO Max, I knew it was going to be adult oriented, and I don't. We'll see if that takes away from what they're going for themselves, because I always want to leave that possibility open that maybe I watched the full show and I don't appreciate it as much as I did with the teaser. But that being said, I don't mind the show saying fuck and it being a bit more adult oriented. I love the Punisher show on the plus side from Marvel, where that was gore galore and that fit the character and all that other shit. So if this is a dark and gritty place where you start to introduce maybe there is other life on Earth haunting people and aliens and shit going after people and under the guise of this whole mafia crime syndicate thing, like a darker Men in Black, yeah, fuck yeah, I'd be all for that, motherfucker. Like, that's what I would do. This is probably part 2 of this video spliced together because, well, my monitor died and so did my computer when it cut off. So where were we? Here we go. I think we were right here.
Gunn does. This isn't a superhero show. This is like Yellowstone, a fucking cowboy show. Like, what is James Gunn doing? He doesn't understand these characters whatsoever.
So I think I did say that, yeah, this is more True Detective. It doesn't mean that he doesn't understand the characters. We need to see their further exposition come into play with the whole
bringing the fucking MCU into the DCU. Everything has humor in it now. The suits are ugly. The characters suck.
I kind of hate that analogy that whenever one character makes one joke, it's suddenly MCUified. That's just stupid. That's real. That's a really fucking dumb opinion. I'm sorry I have to say it, because then when people say it, it's like, oh, they make too many jokes. There's always comedy. There's nothing serious in the MCU whatsoever. Serious moment, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with the animal abuse storyline. Serious moment, Infinity War, when half the universe got snapped and it was treated like a serious moment. There was no jokes, there was no smiles, there was no laughter. People were dying, for the most part. So when people say that It's just all jokes because one character makes a joke, and we haven't seen the whole of this pie yet. You never know. This show can have some really fucked up and serious moments. And it's on HBO Max, and it's an adult show, and they could show gritty detail, brutality, all that other nature because it's adult. So, like I said, let's not jump the gun. Oh my god, here comes the pun. Let's not jump the gun and let's watch the whole thing when it comes out.
James Gunn, get out.
Well, apparently, the new owners are Paramount. I don't know if this man's staying, but I guess we'll see. The funny thing about this guy is he's such a reactionary. It's honestly insane. He's hyping up AI slop. Clearly, this is Snyderverse stuff all taken. He's like, oh, this is much better. This looks much better. This is AI fucking garbage. AI being made to make entertainment and replace things like acting and action scenes. It's all that stuff is all garbage, in my personal opinion. It will never replace real talent whatsoever regarding film, and I will die on that hill 100%.
This is what we
Look at how the Flash runs. He runs like he's wearing a diaper, dude.
want for our universe.
No, I don't want this. I don't want this fucking PS2 looking cutscene that looks clearly fake.
James Gunn just completely butchered it.
Look, Darkseid, they didn't even render his whole face right. Well, why the fuck is he wearing like? It looks like he has a mask on. What the fuck? It looks like someone superimposed Bane's mask on Darkseid and called it a day with this AI garbage.
Completely butchered it with that Lanterns trailer, bro. Bring Zack.
What is, that's not even Ray Fisher. Who is this? Who the fuck is that? Yo, they just got a random Cubano off the street and said, wear the cyborg suit, you'll do. Like, what is going on?
With that Lanterns trailer, bro. Bring.
Like, it looks like he was barely hit with the batarangs. I'm just critiquing the fuck out of this now.
Bring Zack Snyder back.
This looks awful.
What we need. Look at this. Bro, Aquaman versus Darkseid.
Fucking awful.
Look at, god damn. Look. Ooh, yes.
Standing in place waiting for her opponent to hit.
Oh man, this is what we need in our universe, bro.
No, we don't. Why was he wearing a mask? Like, no.
In our universe, bro.
I see she knocked it off.
Look at this. Yo! No, that's crazy. Damn!
He's so extra.
Yo!
He's so extra for AI slop. He reminds me of Soups. Just so extra for it.
Oh! Omega Man!
Check him out, y'all. He dick riding. Look, he got the dick all in his mouth. Look, shaboing boing. Get the dick out your mouth, dummy.
This is what we.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? No, we don't need that. Thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. Okay. Well, what else is people sort of going on about? So I talked about the suit. You know, possibly being faded. I talked about the whole thing of Snyder made this in his driveway from this idiot with a box of scraps, and I'm like, yeah. The other guy says, yeah, and then a visual effects team in a studio made it look good. I talked about that. This guy, he says it's a joke, but I sort of don't buy it. You had people co-signing. If you want to look at Brigador actually doing it, he co-signed the old Green Lantern suits, which looked like skin-tight garbage. What else? Jesus Christ. Oh, HBO Max actually made slight of these people, which I don't think they should have done, because you know how people will take it. They'll go, oh no, they're insulting the fans. So this is just clearly a joke made at the expense. I thought it was funny. You're like, oh, there's no green? Well, how about this nacho bowl? That's green, okay? So, as I said, we clearly need to watch a little bit more into the show. Here's a interesting one. When people were talking about a line set in the teaser, I think Hal Jordan says, I'm the only human, and rest are aliens. We even got a fucking squirrel, which was their brand of, once again, humor. Again, humor is subjective. I didn't mind the line itself. I don't think that Hal was being super literal either. I just think that he hates Guy Gardner and he pretends that he doesn't exist. Like, most people call Guy Gardner an asshole in the universe. Therefore, he's not going to acknowledge him at all, especially to the new cadet. Now, will they all cross paths eventually? Yes, I do think that's going to happen, and it'll probably be a scene of, oh yeah, oh, and I forgot, here's Guy Gardner, and then he's not really enthused by his appearance whatsoever. And then you could have Jon Stewart say, I thought you were the only human. Well, I lied. That's how they could easily tie up that scene. I just think he fucking hates him and doesn't want to bring it up. But we'll see how it goes. Next, James Gunn talking about the trailer, the green energy. I think I talked about everything. Oh yeah, the Surf Dracula thing that people were talking about. Go down the list and see what that was, where someone suits up but it's way too late and it's unearned. They could do that though. Just and there are times where it's earned. Just at the end of the show is earned. The Daredevil thing, yeah. I like that though. I like that at the end of Daredevil that they did that. It's like, oh, take your shot. You know, that was fine. That was fine. Even though that suit has some differences as well. So you really, yeah, it's this dude with a Daredevil profile picture, and it's like, yeah, that's not really a comic accurate suit with some of the changes, but it makes sense from a grounded tactical perspective, which is why I never hated it that they made alterations with the bullet armor suit and the lack of the DDs. Eventually he came into his own, and now he's getting them in Daredevil Born Again season 2. So it's fine. This is someone mad that people like the teaser. I guess I'm one of those people. Eating that burger. Eating it proudly. Let's see. Yeah, I think some people are overreacting on the lantern suit. It's old and worn, which is why the colors are all faded. And I think a key part of the story will be Hal Jordan putting it back on and re-energizing it. That's my guess too, honestly. That's why I saved it and showed you guys. If you wanted to do a grounded superhero project, maybe you shouldn't have picked the franchise where thousands of aliens handpicked by billion-year-old Smurfs guard the universe with magic rings that are fueled by the power of feelings. Willpower, no green. Just a thought. As I said, I think they're building to a larger portion of the universe, and they're using this small-scale project to do something different, leading into those bigger events. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens at the end of the show. It just all depends on the characters, the exposition, and the acting. Let's see, what else is next? A Green Lantern show with no CGI. There's clearly CGI when Hal was flying into the distance. You could tell the transition easily, so there is CGI. No suits, there was suits. No constructs. I don't think they would show construct action in a teaser. Same for the aliens, and not a peek at Sinestro. They're not gonna show all of that in a teaser. You do realize that, right? Someone said below, well, it is a teaser. Yeah, I think you'll get some of these things and illusions, but you're not gonna see all of them in a teaser. They definitely have to do the construct thing if Hal Jordan wanted to do a test of running Jon Stewart off the road in a car as he leaves the ring on the dashboard. I'm sure that's going to be a construct scene. And hiding the action as well. It's a teaser, Who's to say there won't be kick-ass Green Lantern moments at all? We don't know yet. What else? I think that's it. I think that's it. for critiques and whatever. I they did this before. People did this before with another show, and I'm trying to figure out what it was. There was a good tweet on it. It was the Penguin, where people are like, "Oh, how does a Penguin show work, particularly without Batman in it?" And they managed to do it. It managed to be compelling, written well. You didn't need one glimpse of Batman in that show for that show to be TV that people talked about for a while when those episodes were dropping. It was just one piece of the show, one piece of the landscape, and it is what I'm hoping it to be. Just one piece of the puzzle that when it unlocks, I hope it gets further progressed out into something interesting. But you know, it's never jump the gun until you actually see things validated in person. If the show is garbage, I will be making a review on it for sure. But if it's not, it's gonna be the Penguin all over again from pre-release to post-release, and that's you would figure people would learn their lesson by then, but I guess not. So I'll keep a close eye on this. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed my reaction to some people on social media. Some of it is justified. I understand the big fantastical side of Green Lantern, wanting the aliens, wanting the powers, the constructs, all of that nature, but I also understand that some of these critiques, especially with people not reading the synopsis of the show. Oh my god, why is this a True Detective inspired show taking place only on Earth when they told you guys this forever ago? I could see if they were lying to us, telling us stories, telling us Todd Howard sweet little lies. But that wasn't the case here. They were always upfront since day one. Therefore, I appreciate the transparency of what we're getting. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this video and the Lanterns teaser, and I will see you guys next time. Later.